What's up, guys? This is Comic Ken, and today we are getting back into the drawing of my latest piece. It is basically my two main characters, Vivi and Chelsea, from my latest webcomic, Saintly, in the pool rooms. They're swimming around in there when they really shouldn't be. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting color on this illustration that we've been working on for like the last few weeks, and we'll just answer questions in the chat and just talk about random stuff throughout the stream. So let me go ahead and add my screen, get that all set up, and then we should be good to go. 1 second here. Okay. I gotta sneeze. All right, and that's over, and we're we're done with that. Let me set up the iPad screen, and then we should be good to go. Okay, cool. And then I'll share and post entire screen. Share. Sick. Hey, what's up? What's up, Dale A? Appreciate you coming out to the stream. Let me clicked on your thing. There we go. Hey, I liked your recent newsletter. What'd you like about it, actually? Because usually like the last two were really long, so I was just like, are people really enjoying it? But yeah, appreciate you, man. I'm wondering like what about it that you like, because I put a lot of stuff in there. Like but hopefully it was a good update and you got something out of it. Blueberries Muffinan. Cool. Welcome to the show, but and thank you for that. I sneezed a couple times. Silence Draws, hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Hey, Ictus, what's up? Appreciate you coming out. Ictus says time to pull up the digital crayon for this stream. How do you even use? Is that like a Procreate brush or something? I don't know, man. But awesome, man. Awesome. Appreciate you coming out. Let me go ahead and minimize my screen. And then I'll swipe over to the art. Okay. So we're good. Okay, y'all can see what I'm doing. Everything's charged up, ready to go. Hopefully nothing crazy happens or explodes. So we can do this right. All right. Do I even remember how I do? Okay, so what I want to do is, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this. I'm going to leave that out. I'm going to take, let me see. I'm going to hit folder. I'm going to hit the folder button. And what I want to do is take everything out here and fold it in here. I'm going to take that as well. Put it all in the folder, including this. Okay. And so all of that is in the folder. The pencil work, that's a whole different thing. The rough stuff, that's a different thing. So then what I want to do is take all the inks. Okay, I'm going to call this folder inks. Inks. I'm going to take all the inks and then let me see. I'm going to unlock that. I'm going to move this to the bottom because that's not even visible. And I'm going to take all this and basically, what do I want to do? I'm going to take this, I'm going to flatten the layer, or I'm going to merge all these layers. Take it, merge. Can y'all see? Okay, good. Okay. Merge selected layers. And then if I turn it off, that is all of it. That's all the inks. Good. Then I'm going to copy that. Copy this layer. Then I'm gonna unmerge all of that. I'm just gonna undo basically what I just did, and then I'm going to paste. Now I have inks in one image, and I still have all the work that I did going beforehand. So if this inks layer is like messed up, or I do something weird with it and I have to go back, I always have that those layers. And you don't have to do that. That's just me being paranoid about like my art and whatnot. Like, I don't want to have something that I need to you know, that I need, and then it's just not there, or have some extra difficult thing that I need to do, and then I just have to deal with it, you know what I mean? But you know, if I was braver, I wouldn't have to. But let me check out these comments, say what's up to everybody who's popping in right now. Let me say what's up to Minish Red 1888. Okay, what's up? Author of Final Falsehood here. Oh, hey, cool, nice. Listening to your videos help me work. Thank you for continuing to produce. Hey, appreciate you coming out. Yeah, I've seen your art, your stuff for Final Falsehood, and it's really solid, like indie manga work. So that's really good. Appreciate you coming out to the show. You got like a really different name compared to what I thought was the writer of Final Falsehood. But nice. Let me see. Oh yeah, that would be nice. Everybody like the stream. Said it's also been fun to follow you on the journey of creating this piece. Oh, appreciate it, man. Yeah. We're rounding around the corner to the ending there, where I can finally get the colors on, which is the best part. So we're getting there. Dale A said it made the point I made 2 weeks ago. It felt more substantive than most comic newsletters, which are usually press releases or blogs. Your newsletter had a bonus art and fan art, but it wasn't too long. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, I tried to add enough art so that it justifies the words in the newsletter. So it's like you get newsletter, you get some words, you get art, more art, newsletter, like you get words, art, and just to, you know, keep the interest throughout the thing. So that's good. Hey, what's up, Nick Stream? You made a debut in my newsletter with your fan art, so it's posted up in there. Everybody's like checking it out. So nice. Hey, what's up, Joseph Lopez? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. And what is up, Main Concept? How you doing, man? Appreciate you popping up to the show. I'm gonna go ahead and see what's up here. How old are the main characters? They're both 20. And I based that off of one of my favorite mangas in the world called Nana, where both those main characters are 20 as well. So they're, I think, in their second year of college, and they're both like aspiring like movie directors and whatnot, working on trying to break into the horror industry. Hey, what's up, Code Ninja? Appreciate you coming out to the show, man. Said he made it to a live stream. Nice. Minis Red says there's a writer and an artist for Final Falsehood. I'm the writer. Oh, Vein Lover is the artist. Okay, I was wondering. I was like, I thought Vein Lover was the writer and artist. That makes sense. Okay, cool. Hey, nice. Okay, cool. I didn't know it was a team. That's really dope. Nick Stream says nice. Says I'll make another one someday. Sweet. Says awesome. TGA. I don't know what TGA means. Let's go ahead and swing back to the piece. We're just about to break into the actual color stage, which I've been waiting for weeks. I actually finished this inking on a live stream with Masonimus. If you guys have heard of him, he was in the comment section like maybe a week or so ago. And yeah, we had a live stream recently, last Saturday, and during that stream, I was finishing the ink on this piece, so that's what I was working on then. And now that we have these inks here, I'm gonna go ahead and just call it ink layer or something like that. And then I'm gonna lock it, and it looks, what's the word? Like it's mostly complete. I don't usually do the normal flatting, what's the word, protocol as I used to in the past. But here what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off that way, and I'm going to make a flats layer. So I'll make a flats layer. The inks are already, you know, in transparent mode. So I'm going to do flats. In fact, I'll just make it all. There we go. And then I'll hit, what is it called? Go to the rectangle thing. Darn it. We got to get that perfect. Okay, there we go. Nice. All right. And then now what? Is it where I need it to be? I think so. And I think I'll just start with the local sort of color that I want for the piece, where it's like kind of a murkish blue. Yeah, something like that. And I want to hit close, and then I'm going to start. There is a flatting process that I use. Oh yeah. I use the inks layer as a reference layer, and then I will be able to use the fill bucket tool. What the hell? Since when did those things get on that? Okay, good. Because this should be underneath here. Yeah, just like that. Okay, cool. Because that was off for the last couple of days. I've been like, what am I? Why is this not doing it right? You know what I mean? Like, okay, so now that that's sort of there. Okay, so that was the problem with that. Okay, I'm gonna have to redo the ink layer, and that's why I kept the other version saved, because I have the pool lines, and those need to be an option that I can toggle off. That's not really meant to be there like that. So I'm gonna take these layers, I'm gonna flatten them. Merge selected layers. Merge selected. Then copy like I did before. And then paste. Actually, I'm going to unmerge them, and then I'll paste. So this one has the inks on it. We're going to have to delete this layer. Delete, and then this is going to be the one we use. Ink layer. All right, and then I'll hit reference, lock it, and then we should be good, because all of this stuff is basically the same color it's supposed to be. And now I can just start filling in the base colors for my characters, and I always have them on a color set, so they're locked in, and you always know, like, I always can like easily click and choose their colors whenever I need to. Let me check out the comment. Main concept says, awesome. That's what I'm trying to do with my bestie in my 20s, trying to become film directors. Oh, that's cool. That's cool, man. I doubt I'm ready now, but would you be willing to take on a voluntary assistant? Um, you know what? You'd have to DM me about that in like what's it called? Instagram. Cause I do have some things I need help for, but it's like at a point where I can't really, pay anybody. So it's really all on me, and I don't want to accept help without some type of compensation or something like that. So, but yeah, it's something I'd be interested to hear about as well. Nice. Hey, what's up, Sideburns? All right. So let me go ahead and start basically just using the fill bucket tool. Let's get it started. So the way it works when I do it like this is like it's gonna kind of fill around the lines, but not really fill in the lines. Okay, let me turn off those ink layers. So basically I'll just start. This is like easy stuff, like just filling in, like just like a coloring book. Let me see here. Whoop. There we go. There we go. Easy money. Like just relax. Just let it all flow. Like easy stuff. Okay, this is the part where I'm gonna have to cover up some lines here and there, so it doesn't bleed open. Let's see. Ow. Let's see. Fill here. Nope. And I kind of like playing detective at this point where when I'm trying to fill stuff in, I get to see like, okay, where is the line breaking open and where is it bleeding in? And it's right here. The fun part is actually finding that point. And okay, I bet $10,000 it's not gonna bleed into her hair like before. Boom. Okay, nice. But it did bleed into the bikini part, so I'm gonna have to fill that part in too. All right, there we go. Nice. Okay, and then we got the fingers here. Nice. I'm gonna fill that in just with that color temporarily. And this is her eyebrow color, so I'm gonna fill that in. And I'm just gonna fill in her eye color as well, just for fun. I don't really have to do that right now. Like I'm just kind of like, this is exactly why I came up with these, or saved their color profiles, because it just makes the flatting process so easy. I'm actually on the flatting process for chapter 3 now, so I'm rounding around the corner to finishing chapter 3, and it's gonna be so sweet when it's finally done. But this is why I have these what do you call it, these color tools, so I can really just pick and choose the colors as they're already determined and not have to like guess every single time, like, oh, what color was her hair again, like, is it brown, is it red? But I mean, like, that is just a time-saving tool, but I kind of want to have it, I kind of want to do it where how Akira Toriyama does it, where Bulma's hair could be anywhere from green to purple the next day. It could be pink one day. Like, the way he does it is up to interpretation. Like, a lot of mangaka don't really have the full, like, the colors set for the characters until later in the story, which is really interesting once you think about it. It's like the hair color isn't 100% set in stone, and it's really like sometimes the anime is what comes up with that specific or consistent style that is used overall for the story. So the anime is what like kind of says, okay, enough fucking around. We're choosing a color for this character, and this is what it is. This is the official color. So that's the color for Bulma's hair. It's this kind of greenish teal. And then even for the Kamehameha, like they chose a color. And what's his name? Akira Toriyama specifically didn't like the sound design, I think, for the Kamehameha. Like he was just like, what the hell is this? It doesn't make sense. So he was upset at the sound designer, I think, for the Kamehameha wave. Um Okay, so I do have a color for her nails, which is about the same as her lips. Her lips are this color, but she's not wearing lipstick really. So this is just the base color of her lips. And then putting the white in the eyes is always kind of what fully rounds out the character for me, at least. It's like, okay, now they're alive. Like, now they're fully present. Let me see what's up in the comments. Hey, the Void Existentialist, what's up? Appreciate you coming out to the show, dude. Or lady, I don't know. But appreciate you coming out. Red Bull gives wings. BEQ Baba Booey. Okay. Appreciate you coming out to the show. Sideburn says Toriyama did Super Saiyan's blonde because it was less work making it black. Yep, 100%. And I think it was originally meant to be white, but that's just because, you know, in black and white it's gonna be default white. But I think that was the original, what's the word, color choice for Super Saiyan, and the anime was just like, no, we'll just make it blonde. The anime has that job where it's just like, we gotta choose a specific consistent look for everything so that we can make this work for the whole team, because they got a lot of people working together to make the anime solid. Okay, so here we go. There we go. And what color should her bikini be? I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Why is my eraser on? Okay. It's not gonna be blue. It's not gonna be green. I don't know yet. Maybe yellow? I don't know. Something that contrasts with the background somewhat. It's not bad. Let me see. I'm gonna take. Nope. I'm gonna select. Shift, Control, Option, Shift. Oh, okay. Sorry, got it. And then I'm gonna hit that. I don't want it to be too desaturated. That is a really shiny, kind of flashy color. I like it, but I don't know if that fits in the scene. Let me see. Purple, no. Blue, no, not quite. Orange, no. Pink always works with her. Like, that's the color that she usually goes with. Green, it's not the worst. Teal, that's not bad either. I'm just gonna have that as a selection, and I'm gonna choose some other colors. Let's see. Light blue, that's not bad, but it doesn't really pop off the background too much. Green, I think we already discussed this. Green is not bad. Yellow is kind of what I had in mind, but this is not like super important to really nail down right now. But yellow's not horrible. I'll just keep yellow for now. Let me see. The Void Existentialist says I'm a dude. Okay, good. I was wondering. Cyberman says I'm a lady. Just kidding. Okay, good. I was like, what? Um, Void says I prefer the yellow color for the Super Saiyan design. Sideburns pink goes with her, but more like Adam Eve. Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Pink does work with like redheads really well, but yeah, it would give off like Adam Eve vibes. And really, the only way I could kind of differentiate her from Adam Eve was by giving her this big long smile. Like her smile is kind of what differentiates her, and just the fact that she's drawn by me is also a differentiation. Let me see. Thoughts on A24 copywriting backrooms. I don't know anything about that situation, but I've heard little whispers here and there about what's going on. The only thing they can do, I mean, the only thing I'm guessing that they can do, because I don't know for sure, is copyright their movie that they made. They can copyright the movie and the concepts within the movie that they created, but they can't copyright the I guess they can't copyright like liminal space. They can't copyright liminal space as a concept. They can't copyright backrooms content that's already online before the movie came out. They can only copyright their own movie. So I don't know what kind of chicanery they're trying to do, but it's because I haven't like looked too deep into that situation. Let me see. Oh, did anyone see the new Avatar trailer come out? And I'm not talking about for the movie. The movie, I'm gonna watch that when it hits theaters in Texas. But I'm talking about the new Avatar that comes after Korra, the Seven Havens Avatar, because that looks very, very, very fantasy-esque. I wonder whatever if anyone else has seen it. Let me start doing the colors on Vivi as well. Let me see what kind of colors she would have. I'm gonna hit save. Let me see. The pool rooms seems more peaceful in the movie. I played HD and it has similar aesthetics. I have not played Haiti, but the pool rooms. Code Ninja says Seventh Heaven looks mid to me. Main concept says, yeah, it was giving dark fantasy. I'll wait till I hear a couple of y'all's thoughts before I give y'all my thoughts, because my thoughts are a little bit different. 7 didn't get to see it yet. Yeah, it's pretty short, but it's like a full on trailer for that new story. But yeah, Seven Heaven Avatar. That's the newest one that's coming out. And to me, I'm looking at it. I'm like, like if y'all wanted to make a completely new fantasy story property, just do that. Like you don't have to slap the Avatar name on it and give everybody like bending powers and stuff like that. Like just make your own new thing with your special main character, OC with disabilities and all that stuff. Like just make your own thing. It doesn't have to be called Avatar, but I'm hoping that if I watch it, it'll be really cool. But I'm not holding my breath, basically. Like it looks kind of visually it looks kind of janky, to be honest. Like the animation is kind of shaky and it's not really fully what's the word? it looks like an indie animation almost. And then the characters, the character designs, it goes along with the world, the character and the world design. I can't really tell what it's based off of. Where in Avatar, it was very clear what everything was based on. Even in Korra, it was clear what it was based off of. So in Avatar, it was based off of Asian culture. I mean, that whole cast was an all Asian cast. Like, I don't think anyone ever talks about that, but it's an all Asian cast. And there you have just what, like the Inuit tribe of like water tribe. You have Japan, which is represented by the Fire Nation. You have I think it's Taiwan, represented by the Air Nation, and then the Earth Kingdom. I don't know, India perhaps, but yeah, that's what that world is based on. And then in Korra, they do more like 1920s America, which I thought was okay, I guess. But I mean, like, I still wanted them to continue being in the more, what's the word, traditional, old school, like Asian based culture and world and stuff like that. They just threw all that out the window, and they threw good storytelling out the window in Korra, and I was just like, I don't even acknowledge that Korra exists. So I'm just in that camp. But yeah, this new thing doesn't look like it's based on anything. It looks like it's just based on like a completely new fantasy setup with no basis in anything. Maybe loosely based in Indian culture, perhaps. I don't know. I can't really tell. I can't tell what it's based on, and it just looks like maybe somebody's fanfic OC. I mean, not OC, but like fanfic idea of what Avatar could be, and they decided to make a whole show out of it. And I mean, that's not to say it's gonna be bad or anything. I hope it's good. Like, I always hope anything Avatar is good, but like the way I see it, anything that has such a good original series that it's hard to match up to, I just focus on the original series, and I'm like, hey, this is the thing everybody needs to get into. Whatever comes after that, I'm just like, hey, y'all can do anything after that as long as you don't touch the original series. Or you can spin off into anything, but if it turns out to be good, then I'll consider it part of the original series. If it turns out to be bad, I'll completely distance myself away from that and just focus on the original. Let me see what they were saying in comments. Hey, what's up, G4? How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming out to the show. Code Ninja says I ain't watching that. Vietnam was Earth. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Air Nomads, Tibet. Okay, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Because I knew it started with a T, but I was just like, which one is the one that's like people say free Tibet or free China? Earth is China and some Indian inspiration. Okay, makes sense. Fire is China and Japan. Makes sense. Main concept, I think the setting looks different, but I think that's because there was some sort of calamity that changed the environment. I'll give it a chance. What's your thought on the new Avengers Doomsday? First I wanted to say the world looks different in Avatar, like Seven Heavens and whatnot. I'll give it a shot. Like, I'll watch the first episode and see, like, does it do something really special that's gonna make me think twice about watching it? Like, is it gonna do something that's gonna make me be like, dang, I really underestimated this? Because if it does, should I give her like a pierced belly button? That would be cool. If it does, I'll be like all for it. I'll be like, okay, cool, yeah, this is actually really dope. Let me I enjoy it. Like, this is really cool. Let me go to the inks layer. No. Okay, there we go. But if it just comes out to be like, you know, kind of generic, you know, what you would normally see in a fantasy show, like there's a ton of shows like that. And there's not that there's anything wrong with them or that it's bad. It's just like okay, you know what I mean, like, but it could be the next Arcane. It could be something like top tier. But the thing with spin-offs or reboots or remakes or anything like that is that they don't have the same urgency. They don't have the same energy level of like to make this work fail that the original has, where the original is going to be top tier because it's the first iteration of that thing, whereas the every version that comes afterward can just sort of like kind of rest on the strength of the IP as a whole rather than set itself apart and make it into its own thing. Like Seven Heaven looks like it's piggybacking off of Avatar to do something that they could have done on their own rather than make it something that is specifically part of the Avatar IP. Whereas the Avatar Legend of Aang movie looks like it's holding true to what made Avatar good to begin with. And I really can't wait to see that actual movie because they really cooked with all the character designs and all that. So it looks really, really cool. G4 says, what are your thoughts on the new Avengers Doomsday? The trailer looked good, but I was questioning, like, okay, they brought back. I mean, this is a trailer. You'll if you're gonna see it, you'll see it. But they brought back Captain America, so it's like, is that what we're doing? Like, this could be a risky bet, but I mean, it's not the worst thing he could do, but it is risky, like, you know. But I'm not expecting that it's gonna do anything that's gonna be like super mind-blowing, like it's gonna be the best thing in the entire world and I'm gonna be feeling the same level of hype as when I watched like Infinity War or Endgame. Like, I'm just here for the fact that I like the overall movies, not every single one, and I've watched some in phase 4 and I don't know, I'm just gonna see how this movie will turn out. It could turn the whole franchise around, but see, phase 4 had such a weak start and I barely watched any of those series. It was just overloaded with like TV, movies, all this stuff, and a lot of fluff and a lot of, like, you know, messaging. What's the word? I don't want to use the word woke or DEI or whatever, but those are the words. Like, it was full with a lot of that stuff, and I was just like, I don't want to get into all that, man. Like, I just want a good show. Like, just give me a good show. I actually don't know how to draw a belly button piercing, so I'm gonna have to look that up. I mean, I think it comes out here, but let me see. I'm gonna hit save, and then I'm gonna look that up. But I don't want there to be some weird shit on the screen or some sus stuff. Let me see. Belly button piercing. I just need to see how it actually goes through the belly button, because sometimes it just looks like it's just there. Button piercing. But yeah, overall, I'm excited because it's got the X-Men coming in, and hopefully Wolverine will be in there. That would be really cool. It'd be really cool to see not Daredevil, but yeah, him too. But what's his name? That guy. Okay, so that's how it goes. Cool to see Deadpool in there. That'd be fun. Okay, so that's how that's done. Okay, cool. Um, there we go. And let's see. Sideburn says hard pass on Doomsday. Dang. I have a buddy that I'll go and see Marvel movies with. So he's my reason basically to go out to theaters. Like we're about to watch Spider-Man. We saw Brave New World. We saw Fantastic Four. We saw Thunderbolts. And there was one more. We saw Superman. So those were all solid stuff, and that's basically what gets me out to most of those movies these days. We're back. Okay, cool. Code Ninja says that's how I feel about FLCL. It was literally the perfect one-off series, and they had to ruin it with sequels. Shake my head. I'm glad people do not recognize the sequels at all. Yeah, exactly, man. Yeah, that's 100% true. I'm adding that in a video I'm doing that's coming up, but FLCL is like one of those that is perfect. I mean, it's like you can't do anything extra with it's just it is what it is what it is. Like, you can't really do anything extra with it, and it ended at the perfect spot. 6 episodes, you can't get much better than that. And then they were like, but we need money, so they did what they did, and it's just like the worst one they did. What the hell? The worst one they did was the what was it? Was the final one that was this like 3D slop version of it. I was just like, what are y'all doing? This doesn't look like FLCL at all. It looks like a joke. Like it just looked like a horrid remake of FLCL, and it wasn't even fun. Like I was just like, what are we doing here? Yeah, and I didn't really watch much besides like the first episode of the original one, the girl with the cat ears, like the cat headphones, and I'm like, okay, whatever. Like it's just some aloof girl with her headphones on, and maybe she's weird and different because she has headphones. And then I was just like, okay, that's all right. I mean, like they were trying to have the same energy, but it still felt too conventionally like regular anime. It was in the compositing, it was in the storytelling style, it was in the character designs and the character acting, all that stuff. It was just off. It didn't have the same vibe, the same soul or spirit as the original. Then I watched the second one with the girl group. Like it was all girls, and that one wasn't much better. It was just, and Haruko was there, and that's like I just don't remember much about any of those series because I didn't finish them. I watched the first episodes of both just to see like, are they going to be any like good? And they weren't. It was I mean, I can't say that they weren't. They just weren't. One, they weren't my taste, and two, they just didn't match that same level of quality that that they set, the standard that they set in the original Fooly Cooly. So that's why I had to drop those, because it was just like, nah. But dang, okay, yeah, she kind of looks bad with a belly button ring. Nice. Okay, let me see. But the purple doesn't work, so I'm gonna have to change that. I might just make it straight black. Where is the selection button? Let me check out the comments. GF or G4 G4 says anime these days are too gimmicky. I mean, it's always been, but these days they don't even try original stories. It's just spam isekais with different small iterations. Yeah, that's really what it feels like these days. And you know what? The thing is, what you're saying is exactly what I mean, A lot of people are saying this, but this is the same thing that Miyazaki was saying back in the 80s. Like he said, and I'll have to do a video about this and on bring it up. Like he had a specific passage in his book called Starting Point, where he was talking about how every anime coming out, and this was during the 70s, coming out was competing on who could be the loudest, most gaudy, most violent and bloody, and it wasn't focused on really telling a story or drawing from reality. So okay, so I was missing that. So the stories ended up being weaker on that end because of how they approached it. And it made me think like, well, maybe then a lot of the stuff that I grew up on is what he was complaining about, but I enjoyed it because it was for me at the time, or it was for me like as my childhood self. And then now I'm looking at the stuff that comes out today the same way that he looked at the stuff that was coming out back in the 70s, even though I consider the peak of anime to be around like 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Just during that time frame, that time period, 30 years of being peak. And now it's just, I don't know. Now it's just different. There's a lot of stuff that's still good, but it's just, I don't know. Let me see. Always been gimmicky. Yeah, that's what I'm finding. A lot of shows are like these days, gimmicky, where they're focused. They don't even act like natural humans anymore. Like there's so much focus on, hey, my girlfriend is a gamer and she screams really loud and stuff or whatever, and like it's just like, how would I even describe it? Oh, the tolerance is too high. Okay, let me put that down. It's just like too much. It's too much. Like they go overboard without having a balance of naturalness in how the characters are acting. So it kind of goes too far without giving you the other side of it. Let me see. Code Ninja says they just didn't understand that FLCL was a coming of age story full of sexual innuendo. They just thought, let's make FLCL with a girl. Completely amateur works. Yeah, exactly. Like they didn't understand the spirit behind it or why it worked to begin with, and they were just like, well, it has Haruko in it, so I guess it'll work. We'll just make the main character a girl, and that'll, it'll be the girl version. And it's just like, that's not how it works. You have to understand the spirit behind the thing. You have to understand why it worked to begin with, and extrapolate from reality rather than extrapolating from other anime. Like they didn't even extrapolate from FLCL outside of the surface level gimmicks, like the Vespa, the guitar, the music, all that stuff. They got the pillows. Okay, cool. You got the pillows. But original FLCL was based on a real thing that you would really feel as a kid in that time period, growing up and going through a messy adolescence. FLCL, the next one, is just based off of other anime that are about similar things. So the characters don't act like real people. They don't have natural expressions, even though the expressions in FLCL, the original, were exaggerated and crazy. You could always tell that there was some basis on a real face or on a real expression, and that's what made them feel so alive, compared to the following version, which with the girl and all that, where all the expressions were just based on other anime, and so it didn't feel as if they were real. It didn't feel like as if they were as creative or expressive. It just felt like another run-of-the-mill show that you could see as either an isekai or whatever. They just didn't have the same flavor or soul that the original had, and it was disappointing to see. But yeah, that's that. Let me make sure I clicked the right thing. Okay, here we go. Code Ninja says, I feel the same way as G4 on this. Otomo just talked about this same thing. I think it has to do with artists not taking inspiration from life or physical media. Yeah, that's one thing I'm trying to that I've recently been focused on, where a lot of the traits that make anime characters really interesting, it possibly has some roots in actual animals. Like, there are animals that have a stare that you're just like, whoa, that's a very intense stare. If you research what animals do, how they are, what animals have a certain face, like, you can make really great, strong anime characters that you've never seen before, just based on weird animals that are just out there. But if you keep basing all your designs or all your thoughts on anime that you've seen, then you're not going to be able to create something truly unique or impactful. You'll just be able to create like a weaker version of something that's already out there. Reading real books is key because you participate in creating the world, and that vision you create, you own that. Yeah, 100%. G4 says, it also doesn't help that all the cartoonists that made our childhood are now broke and do content on YouTube, Instagram, etc. The creator Billy and Mandy started his YouTube channel due to financial issues. Yeah, man. That isn't always because of, what's the word? That isn't always because of that they didn't make money creating the thing that they made. Sometimes it's really just poor money management. Like, it could just legitimately be like, oh yeah, I kind of fucked up by buying that house when I didn't have the money to buy it. So sometimes it is just like poor money management. Oh damn, okay. Yeah, black, I think black works for this situation. That looks good. Okay, well anyway, yeah, so some of these creators, like, a lot of the issue is it could be like poor money management and that kind of thing that makes it so that it's like they fall on hard times because they didn't save for the hard times when they had like the inflow of money coming in. And it's not necessarily that it's 100% their fault. Sometimes things just come out of nowhere, like health issues, somebody dies, like things just come out of nowhere, and anything can make you broke. But because we have social media nowadays, like, you're able to basically create your own destiny and take back the reins. So even if the legacy media has failed you, you can still find your own way by making crafting your own path on YouTube or social media and that kind of stuff. Let me see. Ilikuta, I think this is my first time seeing your name, but appreciate you coming out to the show. He says, damn, this illustration looks great so far. Appreciate it, man. G4, we desperately need Comic Ken to save the comic space before it's too late. It's too late, bro. It's cooked, and I can't do anything about it. Like, I wanted to I had those ambitions when I was like early 20s. I was just like, dude, I'm gonna save the entire comics industry by making my own company or something like that. I had all those thoughts and ambitions. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna change the whole thing. But the thing is, like, you really can't change other people. You can really only kind of do stuff, and then other people will change on their own accord. But you can't really, like they say, you can't bring a horse you can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. So there was a time where I realized, like, oh damn, like if I want to, I can't even. It was at the Kubert school actually. Like I can't. I realized that most people aren't even that serious about making comics. Most people aren't that serious about it, and even the people that are in comics, they could take it or leave it. You know what I mean? They're trying to get to Netflix. They're trying to get to somewhere else. So once I realized, like, dang, it's not even really my job, or it's not really gonna be possible to change people's minds. Once I realized that, I was like, the best thing I can do is to make my own thing as good as I can make it, and be the example that other people would want to follow. So you have guys like Alex Hormozy, or you have guys like Brandon Sanderson, who on one Kickstarter campaign made $40 million just selling his books. I don't think it was even a new book. It was just his back catalog on Kickstarter. $41 million. And that's from decades of just being a workhorse, putting in time, energy, and work into doing his own books and being high quality at doing it. So if I can do that on my own, or not even on my own, but if I can do that, build out my team, build out my... Oh, right. Okay. Let me lock this layer. Build out my team, build out, the people that will work with me, then I can change the industry without having to change people. You know what I mean? Like, there's no changing people, but money talks. So when people see that you're doing something, that you're actually succeeding, that's when people will be like, whoa, hey, yo, hey, what are you doing over there? Like, how can I, get in on that? You know what I mean? But talking about it won't actually help. It won't solve anything. Actually doing it will be the actual deciding factor. Like actually creating the thing and succeeding at it is what makes it. So I can't change the industry by trying to change people. I can only embody those qualities in myself to the best of my ability, and then other people will follow just off of those merits. So that's kind of what I learned over time. But anyone who can actually manage to do that, more power to you, man. But yeah, that's kind of what I found out. Dang, Vivi looks bad here. Okay, let me see. Code Ninja says, like, Naruto getting hit by the Vespa was literally a metaphor for his sexual awakening. He lost his brain and gained a horn. How on the nose can you get in a metaphor of a hormone crazed teenager? Damn, dude, I never even thought of that, because I was just like, why is it a horn? Why is it like all this stuff? But yeah, that makes a lot of sense when you put it that way. Yeah, they were, what's the word? They understood the feeling of being an adolescent and like just waking up sexually all of a sudden, and they were able to capture that in a moment because it was based on a real thing. But then the remake tries to do the same moment, and it's just like, but they don't understand the meaning behind it, so it just feels like an empty copy. It's just like, oh, that happened in the original, so it's got to happen now. And it's just like, okay, but why? Do you understand why it happened in the original? No, it just looked cool. So they can only copy the surface level of things rather than creating a new meaning or a new metaphor for themselves. But yeah. Cyburn says, yeah, financial literacy. Cyburn, I'm glad I saved for an emergency fund. That's good, man. 10,000 minimum for an emergency fund as advised by Dave Ramsey. Yeah, exactly. Solidine Bryant says, this looks great so far. Keep up the good work. Excited to see the finished product. Hey, appreciate it, man. So am I, actually. Code Ninja says, save the comics industry. I'm out for myself, man. Nobody in this space ain't listening. Exactly. Exactly. I look forward to your videos as always. Appreciate it, man. I think Sanderson said he wrote 9 books before publishing his first novel. Exactly, yeah. Cyburn says, just don't try to be the next Ethan Van Sciver. Oh, yeah. There's tons of ways to avoid doing that, because before he started off like really kind of meek and soft in his cadence and delivery and whatnot, and he was just kind of a normal dude. And then over time, it's like, you know, I guess the attention or the views, the power, the grasp for power got to him. The thing is like making money or getting money like reveals who you actually are, rather than you know, making you a better person or whatever. It just shows who you were to begin with. So I'm trying to think of what kind of person I am right now and what kind of person having money will make me. And I don't want to lose what I am now. There's aspects of what I am now that I don't want to lose. But I do want to be more authentic and be more myself, or be more like how I am around my family. And it's starting to come out more and more over time, especially like just talking to you guys and making more videos. Like my actual personality is starting to come out, which is just kind of like, you know, kind of goofball energy, but that's just because I like having fun. Have you seen Emma Kubert? Nick Stream says, have you ever seen Emma Kubert's YouTube channel? Cool to see her art process. Yeah, I remember her from school too. Yeah, I see her her art. I don't even know why I'm laughing, but yeah, I remember when we were in the Kubert school, like and we'd see her every once in a while, but it wasn't like she was in our class. Like she wasn't in our class, she was already like graduated and stuff. But yeah, I've seen her channel. She was posting stuff about like working on Supergirl and what she's doing now. So yeah, she's getting after it. So that's good. That's very good. Let me see. G4 says, how do you explain your recent success regarding your videos? You are gaining so much subscribers and you're averaging 1 to 2K video views nowadays on videos. Yeah, that's a good question, because I don't actually know. So there's a couple of things, a few reasons I can guess. Like, I've been on YouTube since 2012, maybe. My first video is still on the channel. And over time, I post like kind of sporadically. It was never like one after the other. It was never like an everyday thing, except for that challenge when I did an everyday thing last year. But yeah, I've just been posting over time, so people can see how I've progressed since I was a teenager up until now. And being on YouTube that long helps in showing like, oh, there's a journey there for this guy. Like, he's been around for a while. Also, there was a time a couple years ago where I did have a video pop off back when I only had like 1,000 subscribers, and maybe not even that. It was maybe more like 800 subscribers back then. But the video popped off, and people were watching, and it was because I was talking about anime style and how people should stop trying to copy anime style and focus on making something they can uniquely do with anime style rather than copying it wholesale and doing an inferior product. And so that video blew up, and then I did another one just like it. And then for a year I was doing a weekly video, maybe not a whole year, but I was doing a weekly video. And then I started a podcast with my friend, and I got better at talking just by doing that podcast. And doing that weekly video was just so taxing because I didn't have any extra time left to draw afterward, that I had to stop doing it in that format. and doing that everyday challenge last year is kind of what improved my speaking and improved my my output in terms of now I kind of just by producing volume, like a lot of YouTubers, this is not to like throw shade on anybody, but a lot of YouTubers will like make a video and then leave and then disappear, make a video and then leave, disappear, and then the channel loses a lot of momentum that way. And what I notice is like, okay, while they're gone, I'm gonna still be making videos. I'm gonna make 4 times as many videos as they're producing when they're in producer mode. So I'm just gonna keep showing up every day, because I noticed there's this guy Odi Mangaka. He does this one called Tomahawk Angel. I'm actually looking at it right now, and he was showing up on my feed every single day, and I was just like, man, this guy actually is showing up every single day. And the fact that he was showing up every day, I was just like, okay, that's how he gets viewers to go to his comic, because he just keeps appearing. And I was just like, okay, if I keep appearing and do it more than anybody else, then when other artists or other creators aren't posting and my video is there, it's gonna automatically get more views, just because I'm spamming the algorithm. And right now I'm just in a unique position to do so. So I'm taking every bit of advantage of this time that I have to create videos and put stuff out there. So yeah, that probably explains a little bit why they're making it's getting more views and people are subbing, and so that also raises it up in the algorithm as well. So yeah, that explains it. Code Ninja says the sad thing is artists hate money. I've noticed artists who make it out usually get slander thrown at them. Yeah, 100%. And I think that is just a whole mindset issue. Like, making money isn't evil. It's not bad. It's not wrong. But it is wrong. Well, I wouldn't say it is wrong, but I would say, like, don't let it change who you are as a person. That's the only time where you actually like sell out your soul. And that's part of what Saintly as a comic is about, is like, selling your soul for the chance at success. But artists hating money, it's hard to turn the thing that you did for fun as a kid into a living. And it takes a lot of the fun out of it for some people. For me, I'm just like, oh, it's all fun. Like, this is all part of it. Like, I love trying to figure out how to make money at doing this thing, and try to get to a point where it's like financially viable and people are enjoying it, and maybe get to like, oh, that would be really cool to get like to invincible level one day. But that's because I'm uniquely driven in that way, and I'm also poor. Like, well, I wouldn't call it poor. Poor is like more of a permanent state, but I'm just so broke that really I shouldn't be in this situation right now. Like, I should be a fully functioning adult, and it's just like, if I can make enough money to make a living, then it's on me to like figure out every single tool that I have at my disposal and do everything in my power to make sure I can live on my own and never have to like go back with my parents again. You know what I mean? So I'm with my parents now because I mismanaged my money earlier, and now it's like, okay, I'm using this one opportunity to get back on track and not fall off the ball again. So yeah, that's just kind of how artists see it. And it's not like it happens 100% by accident, but your money habits will compound accidents. So if you don't have any money to handle an emergency, then it's just going to get worse. And you'll be so stressed that people will be able to see like, oh, this guy is not focused. Let's fleece him for everything he's got, because he doesn't notice that there's an extra zero on his medical bill. So we're just going to put that there and hope he doesn't notice. And he'll just be so frazzled that he'll just sign anything. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's the kind of stuff that happens, especially when I was living on my own. Let's see. Yes, it just makes you more of who you are, money. Yeah, yep. Black Merlin, what's up? LeMay, alcohol made it worse, but there was hints during his falling out with Doug TenNapel. Oh yeah, Ethan Van Skyver for sure. Cyburn says, I created a YouTube channel because I was in a video class instead of animation back in 2013. Oh wow. Black Merlin says, this is my second YouTube account, been on since 2005. Damn, I'm so glad I never made videos. I cannot imagine watching my younger me saying cringe. Yeah, my younger self is just, it's weird because I just sound like literally just a younger version of this voice. I was too afraid to be on camera like when I was in my teens, but I started putting myself more out there like when I was in my 20s. G4 says, to be honest, if you keep up the momentum, I see you hit 7K subscribers before the end of the year. Also, do you see an increase in your comic book engagement in terms of sales or website views? Oh, whoops. Hold on. In terms of sales, because the only, because the only link that I put in my description is to go to my email list, that's where I see the increase. So I'm not getting any sales because I don't have what they call a call to action to sell any comics. I'm just telling people to go to the email list, and they'll go to the email list, and that's where I see the uptick in the most attention. G4 says, going back to your parents' house was probably the best decision you made. It's like ever since then you've been doubling the speed of output. Yeah, because they're like, I have to, you know what I mean? Like there's no messing around, you know what I mean? Like it would be one thing to be back with my parents, but it'd be a whole nother thing to be like fucking around and just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play around, play some games. Like I don't have to go to work. I haven't been to like an actual job in months now. And if I were to just be messing around like some idiot, like just like, oh, I can do whatever I want now, like that would be a complete waste of my time, my parents, like it would be a complete waste of my life if I were to just mess around and not lock in like my life depended on it, you know what I mean? So now it's time to like lock the fuck in, and it's working. Like like with comics, you have to use literally every single advantage you can possibly have just to make it 1 inch off the ground, you know what I mean? Like if you don't use what you got, then you'll lose it, you know what I mean? So it's like you have to use everything you got just to make an inch of progress forward. And if you do that for long enough, you'll hit like this ignition point where all of a sudden you blow up after the years of effort you put in. And because you're already used to working hard, you'll actually be able to take advantage of it at the point where it blows up, and you'll have the work ethic it takes to keep it up. You'll be working harder because you finally found the thing that actually makes money, but you won't be in poverty anymore, you know what I mean? So you have to just keep working to get to that point where you can work even harder to stay in that place. Like people think, especially aspiring manga artists, they think, okay, once I get the series, I'm good. Like, I'm set. Like, I got the series. I'm good. But that's when the work actually starts. That's when you actually have to, like, that's when your actual training needs to kick in. Where, like, Kishimoto, when he got into the industry, or when he got serialized with Naruto, he didn't just rest on his laurels. He didn't just he didn't just sit back and be like, "Yep, I got my gig, I got Naruto, and I'm just chilling." No, dude, that's the time to start working. That's the time where he just started to lock the fuck in, and that was for 20 some odd years, just working on the same series, day in, day out, no life. And if he missed his deadlines, it was probably because he was in the hospital. You know what I mean? That's how hard he had to work to keep his spot. Because in comics, somebody else is always ready to take what you got. Like, somebody's always ready to take the spot that you have. You know what I mean? Especially if you're in and out, or you go missing, or you make a comic and then leave. Somebody's is always gonna come in to fill the gap. Like, the universe abhors a vacuum. So if you were the top dog at some point, somebody's gonna come in there and be like, okay, my turn. And it'll be somebody you're not even expecting. It'll just be like out of nowhere, out of the blue. And yeah, I mean, all you have to do is keep working, and eventually you'll put yourself in a position. Like, all you have to do is keep working towards a position where you don't have to go to a job, and all you can do is focus on making comics, focus on the work. If you can get to that position, you literally just have to cherish it and put in the work of your lifetime. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't done anything life worthy for the last, I don't know how many months, and I got 2 more years of this really to go. So no dates, no like social hangouts outside of, you know, the occasional friend hangout or whatever. I don't even have enough money to be doing anything that extra on the side. So really, it's all focused on, gotta make this comic work, gotta get this off the ground, gotta survive, gotta push forward, just 1 more inch forward. And that's what I learned from talking to both Pop Man and Kazu Kibuishi. Like, they're both comic creators. Kazu Kibuishi, he's the creator of the Amulet series, and he said speed is the most important thing. Speed is how you get your work off the ground. It's the only thing that you have in your arsenal, like, is if you can go faster to make your comics, and don't stop until you're making money enough to live on and keep making your comics. Like, I may never have to go back to a day job again, but if I'm too slow, then it's inevitable. You know what I mean? And with Pop Man, when I was talking to him, he said, I asked him, like, what did you wish you did differently, you know, in your comics career? And he said, because he told me like, man, my career has been like ups and downs, and kind of a roller coaster. And when it was up, I should have taken more advantage of it, because it just I didn't realize it would fizzle out at some point. And I asked him, like, what did you wish you would do at the point when you were up? And he said, I wish I'd gone faster. I wish I'd been faster. Because I was at a point in time where I was just like, man, everything sucks. My friend had just left me at the point. My teeth were broken, and my nerves were so frazzled, because I never had any point where I never had any point at which I could, like, stop or rest. And I was just like, damn, this sucks. And I asked him, like, well, what do you do when you're in a position like that, where everything just sucks, no matter how fast you're going, and you don't even feel like you're making progress? He just said, hey, I wish I'd gone faster. Because, like, if you go faster, that will solve all your money problems. That will solve your comics problems. Like, just going fast, because you're drawing. I mean, at least you're not an animator where you have to do 100 drawings for every like product, but like 1,000 drawings just for a few seconds of, you know, animation. But for comics, like you're doing hundreds of drawings just to make a story, and you can't sell any of those individual drawings to make a profit. You have to sell it as a collection. So that's the kind of situation you find yourself in as a comics creator. To make money, I think it's better to attract what the hell? Dang, I was just so locked in on that fucking rant that I didn't even notice what was going on there. Let me see. Going back to your parents' house, to make money, I think it's better to attract experiences that lead to being paid. Sold 1K art on Whatnot this year. Oh, nice. I'm not against making money, in short. Yeah, I have to figure out how to use Whatnot, because I think it's like a collectible thing. Mike Mayhew was on a podcast with Rob Liefeld talking about Whatnot and how he sells stuff. But yeah, I'm wondering what you sold on Whatnot, Sideburns. But that's cool. Black. Was this a super chat? Let me see. Because it has a star next to it. Sheesh. Dang, okay. I appreciate y'all. Let me see. Black Merlin. Appreciate the super chat, man. One thing I learned quickly is to gauge and engage maturity of artists before I support. You seem very grounded, brother, so here's support. Hey, appreciate you, man. Thank you very much. Let me see. Let me read all the super chats first. Cyburn says, here's $3 US. Nice. Awesome, man. Appreciate it. Super chat train. Hey, Code Ninja, appreciate it, man. Thank you very much. Let me make sure it shows up on the screen. Show up. There we go. Super chat train. Nice. Okay. Awesome. Let me go back and read the comments now. Because I've been on one this whole show. Let's see. Code Ninja says, you're not in as bad a situation as you think. There's 30-year-olds living with their parents who are druggies or alcoholics or just spoiled. Yeah, man. And I think that's because they didn't have like any kind of dream to begin with. So it was like, okay, yeah, I'll go back with my parents, and you know, and usually they're rich. I am not. So I just gotta you know, lock in, like actually for real. Or like I don't have a future. There's no in between. Like I can't just mess around and then I'll do this for fun. You know what I mean? I can't just do this for fun. It's like either I go back to washing dishes and that becomes my life, which it wouldn't be so bad. But either that or I get some kind of IT job that I hate, or I lock the fuck in for the next 2 to 3 years. I sacrifice my life points. You know what I mean? It would be like a NEN contract with Hunter x Hunter. Like I sacrifice the next 2 to 3 years, and that's my restriction. And if I sacrifice the next 2 or 3 years just on this alone, then the next 2 to 3 decades will be, you know, less intense, but I'll be making enough money to, you know, help myself, help other people, and actually grow the industry. Because I can't grow the industry by, you know, running a YouTube channel about it or talking about like, you know, the bad things that go on it. But I can talk about, I can do my bit, like I can do my comic well enough so that it actually changes how people think, or changes how people act, and gets to a point where it is what people look to as an example. You know what I mean? So it would be something like that. Let me go back to the illustration, but first let me check out this super chat here. A new one just popped up. Hey, Minish. Let me make sure it's visible. There we go. There we go. Minish. Mini Shred. Okay, I was just like, how do I say that? Mini Shred, 1888. Appreciate that. Keep the train going. Also, we'd love to do a variant cover for you for Saintly if you ever need it. I know you talked about that recently. Hey, appreciate it, man. Yeah, that would be really cool, man. I would once we run the first campaign, I'll reach out because that would be really cool to have. Okay, let me go back to the earlier comments, and then I will also go back to the illustration here. Let's see. G4 says, what's your game plan until 2027? Like, what are your objectives to make sure you are on the right track? For example, finish X amount of Saintly chapters or having X amount of people in the email list. I didn't have so many, what do you call it? Like email list or follower objectives, so much as system objectives, where I'm just focused on trying to draw the chapters as fast as I possibly can and trying to come up with a system that allows me to, if I can create a system where I can put out a chapter per month, literally like every single month, fully drawn, colored, and rendered. I'm trying to build like a studio type system where I'm able to put out a chapter every month for as long as I possibly can, because that level of output and that type of work is undeniable. Like, nobody can say like, oh dang, this guy's lazy, he only puts out a chapter every other month or so. No, if I can do that consistently month over month for a good number of years, then it's very possible that we could reach the levels of Invincible or stuff like that. That's what I'm on. Like, that's what I'm trying to do. Like, so I'm doing as much as I can possibly do on my own right now. So by the end of this year, I want to have like, maybe I'm on chapter 3 right now, and that's going to be finished within this month or the beginning of next. So by the end of the year, how many months we got left in the year? About 5 or 5, because we're in month 7. So September is going to be more of a lead up where I'm doing like illustrations and, you know, sketch sheets and stuff like that to gear up for the launch of the official webcomic. But by the end of the year, I want to have like 4 to 5 chapters of this done, so that I'll be sitting in a good position to try to finish the story by the end of 2027 or the beginning of 2028. But at the current rate, doing chapters by myself, or at least this latest chapter, which is the most complex I've done so far, is like a rate of a chapter every 2 months. So I'm gonna see if I can, like, it would be really cool if I could lock in and do a chapter on my own, fully colored, within a month. But I gotta get faster, and like I don't want to let the quality suffer at the same time. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm trying to do, is like get it to a point where we're just making chapters and chapters, because I do want to, I really admire the manga system and how it works. I wanted to get into it in the past, but because I got this because I got Saintly going right now, I can't really like break off and do that. And at the same point, like, over time, I've learned that it's not the most optimal thing to do for me specifically. It might be more of an optimal option for other people, and it used to be something I aspired to, but when I realized that I didn't have to go overseas to get like an animation done from my comics, from my stories, and I had the ability to color and create the aesthetic I wanted. That's when I was like, okay, webcomics is the way to go, because I can't fully embrace my aesthetic in black and white. So I was just like, I need an outlet to where I can write, draw, and color all my stuff and create the aesthetic that I'm going for. Because I'm going for something very specific, and that's why I like liminal spaces so much. I like liminal spaces. I like these sort of transcendent or ethereal kind of weird looking places. But I also try to focus on creating characters that look very lively and energetic and human, and that's like my design philosophy. Something I've talked about in a few past videos, but something I'll talk about more coming up. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm going for. I was just being a workhorse, basically. Let me see. Code Ninja says you have the apparatus in place, though the marketing system to sales funnel structured in a way where you can draw pages all day, but every piece of content you post guides the follower to buy. Yeah. Over time, it'll guide the follower to buy, and that's something I'm learning over time. Somebody else to really study for that is what's his name, Bonesaw or Honesty. He did a really good campaign to get viewers to read his newest comic called Sky Scorer. So that was coming out after his book called it had the Killjoys, and what was that one called? Shogunned. So after that ended, he was just like, I have a new one called Sky Scorer coming out, and he teased it over time, put out like illustrations, music bits, and that kind of stuff. And over time, he gathered the audience who would eventually come to read it. It just dropped on his Patreon now, and I read it earlier, and I was just like, this is dope. This is really good. It was actually really good. I consider it better than a lot of Shonen Jump #1s that are coming out these days. So yeah, I would definitely recommend it. Go check that out. I went and read it, and it was really good. Black Merlin says, anyone check out the underground of writers? Sanderson accidentally created a new renaissance of people who are just locking in. Yeah, man. There is one guy that I really pay attention to. His name is Chris Fox, and that's where I learned a lot of marketing stuff from, where he'll write to market. He'll create the types of books that people are already looking for, and it's basically genre fiction, but he's created a way to make the kind of books that people are already looking for, and that's how he's been able to make a living at writing novels and doing that over time. Like he'll sell them on Amazon and all that stuff. So yeah. Let me see. A new super chat just popped up, so I gotta check that out. Let me see. Oh, Silver. Hey, what's up? Been a while. Let me come on, show. There we go. Silver 5981 with whoops. 9. There we go. 9.99 euros. Saintly is looking amazing. Will it ever be available in the UK? Just for you, Silver? Yes, it will be available in the UK. I'll make sure of it. But if it's not like widely available in the UK shops, I'll just send you a book. But yeah, appreciate the super chat, yo. But yeah, okay. Let's see the comments here. Oh, let me say what's up to Massive Panda. How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming on. Said, dang, I got in here late. pile of dishes in the sink. Yeah, man, dude, you gotta rewatch because it's just been a really good stream. We're talking all kinds of stuff, man. Like just the whole time. Let me see. Okay. Let's see the previous comments. Anyone check out the underground? Code Ninja says, I've noticed that you have to plan for your time at the top, produce faster, or at least have something in the reserve and make smart investments with your money. Yeah, 100%. A good person that has made good investments with their cash is Sean Gordon Murphy, creator of, well, when I first found out about him, he was the creator of Punk Rock Jesus and American Vampire, but he's more known for nowadays Batman White Knight. And you can get, like, you can best believe he's made so much money off of that, but he's also into real estate and, you know, investing his money so he doesn't become poor, you know what I mean? Like, he can relax. Like, the thing is, when you understand how money works as a creator, as an artist, you can relax. Like, everything isn't a desperate battle or a fight to survive anymore. And you can be more creative when you're just chilling. Like, oh, I don't have to get a client, I don't have to get commissions, I don't have to work for Disney or wherever. I can just do what I want because I have enough money that I've stored and saved over time, so I can just chill. I don't have to go out and fight for it all the time. That's how it is when you're just like when you use it correctly. So Sean Gordon Murphy, he doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to. He can chill. Same with like J. Scott Campbell, but he has a different thing going, like with his with the way he does like covers and whatnot. And somebody else I suspect is Doug Monk, who does these really crazy Batman and Hulk animations on Instagram. Like, when you see it, you'll know what I'm talking about. Like, he is just chilling. Like, he was a comic artist. Like, he is a comic artist, but he's been doing it for a while. He's in his 50s now, and he's chilling. Like, you want to be chilling when you're in your 50s as a comic artist. You don't want to be like, you know, broke and struggling still and having to scrounge up new jobs to make money. And this is not something that's even specific to comic creators. Like, even Floyd Mayweather is like hooked because of how much money he spent. He had generational wealth that he spent in his own lifetime. Like, he spent almost all of it, and now he's like scrounging around for new exhibition fights, new actual fights, and risking his record because he spent everything he made, every single dime he made on whatever, man, what, like jets, 2 mansions, whatever. Like, he just spent all of it, man. And I'm just so unemployed that I hear about this stuff and I learn about all this you know, tabloid stuff. But yeah, it's just like, when you spend it all and you don't have it to keep, you're just, you know, you put yourself in a bind. Let me see. This guy's name's McCloud. What up, McCloud? Let me see. Hey, come weekend. Curious, was the ice cream brush icon? What's the ice cream brush icon on your Clip Studio Paint for? The ice cream brush? Are you talking about this? Ice cream man? Yeah, this is like a it's like a automatic like fill bucket tool thing. I'm never 100% sure exactly how to use it, but it helps for, like, how do I even try to use it? Like, it helps when you like use it. You'll circle around an area and then it'll automatically fill things, but it's so finicky. Like, I don't personally know how to use it. I just use my own like flatting method that I learned from another YouTube video. But yeah, that's what that thing is. Let me see, is this the correct one? Yeah. Master Panda G4 says, we are making me talk a lot. Yeah, but I like talking. Master Panda says, yeah, you'd have to go back to that hydro ceramic technician job. Yep, that's the exact term I use for it. I'll never remember what you were calling it. What is it? Ceramics hydro technician. Yep. That's that's the that's when you try to cover up like your actual job. Black Merlin says, bro has solid parents. This man got a golden ticket when he was born. Imagine. Many could not move back in with parents. Many don't even have parents. Cherish them. Lock in and grow. That's honoring them. That's 100% the mindset that I have. It's like I watched my parents just work so hard. My dad's actually, he's retired, but it's because of the strokes that he's had, and he's very like sick to the point where he can't really do as much as he did before. And I help take care of him, and it's mostly my mom like who's working to keep everything afloat and all that stuff. So I'm just, every time I like sit at the drawing board, I'm just thinking about how hard she's worked, how hard my dad's worked in the past to get me to where I am now. And I'm just like, yo, I don't have time to like joke around and mess around and treat this like a game. Like, it's time to lock in and make them proud. So anytime I see her working, I'm just like, I gotta be working at least day to night just to keep up. You know what I mean? Like she's working 24/7. I gotta be working 25/8. Just to match her output. You know what I mean? So I got to get to the point where I'm self-sufficient again. And once I'm like debt free and self-sufficient, I'll never again make the same mistakes that led to being broke to begin with. But the reason I went broke to begin with was deep. Like it was something I really needed to do, like on purpose. Like I had to do what I did in order to experience life in a way that I wouldn't regret being where I am now. And that's the best way I can put it. I did a blog post on my website about the same thing. I've talked about it in my email list, and I've talked about it in past videos. Well, actually live streams, but yeah, it's like a long, complicated story, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Let me see. Massive says, agree with you 100% on that, Ken. Some people say just do it in black and white. No, some comics just have to be in color. Not all stories or art are built for black and white. Yep, that's true. Let me make sure there's no more. Okay, cool. Mini Shred says, we entered the Kodansha contest. Oh, nice. We'll let you know how we do. I think your style really fits the comic aesthetic. I'm glad you chose it. Bring something fresh to the comic scene, please. Oh yeah, 100%. Appreciate it, man. And good luck with the Kodansha contest. G4. Also, how was your experience on Masonimus podcast? Did you learn anything from your conversations? Yeah, I talked to him a little bit after the podcast to ask him about how he got commissions, and he told me that a lot of them come from like in-person shows and stuff like that. So that was really helpful. Other than that, the podcast experience was really good, really solid. I wish I could have like posted the art that I was working on at the time, but it was like first time situation, so there wasn't really time to figure that out. It was just sort of get in there and talk, and that was it. Oh, Black Merlin says, oh, Chris Fox is one of my faves. He's the man. Yeah, I learned a lot from him. So hey, I am on the spectrum apparently. Anyways, my new book is coming out. Chris Fox. Yeah, he did talk a little bit about that, and that's how he like hyper fixates on making his books, or even like making products, and making like just doing what he does. Like it's like a superpower for him. Code Ninja says, bro, Mayweather got biblical levels of financial illiteracy. I like it whenever anyone uses the term biblical, because that's what it is, man. like he's the example that you would use in the Bible. Like, don't do what this guy did. Black Merlin says, on the topic of Doug Mank, He made a ton off his work on The Mask. Oh, okay, that makes sense. And I heard he made good money on the film too. You just need to make one IP that hits to get that insane momentum up. Yeah, that's 100% true. Yeah, like Scott Pilgrim. Hey, you only need to make one Scott Pilgrim and you're good. And Scott Pilgrim is an example of one of those that's like the art is not the best. Like it's not the best art in the world, but it completely works for the story he's trying to tell. And it became $1 million franchise off of the work that he did because he's such a good storyteller and he's able to make his characters feel like they're alive. That's what made all that Scott Pilgrim money. I always got Scott Pilgrim like nearby or on me, man. Like it's just close. But yeah, I mean the art in Scott Pilgrim is like let me make this big. Oh, whoops. Yeah. It's kind of like it looks like this. But everyone thinks you need to draw like I don't know who's a really good manga artist. Everyone thinks you need to draw like JJK or like One Punch Man to make it in comics or to make a huge franchise or success. You don't need to. And one of the main inspirations that Scott Pilgrim was talking about, he said he's really inspired by Rumiko Takahashi. So, and I could really see it just in his art style. But this is a really cartoonish art style, and he was able to make it because when you read the story, when you read what the characters are saying, it sounds like real people. Like he probably based this on a lot of his friends and stuff like that, and he knows how to craft a narrative. So he was able to put that all together and then make a story that was top tier. That was able to get like a movie and all that stuff. All you need to do is make one good story. And Saintly is gonna be like, I'm not trying to make it into a movie. I'm using it as more of a vehicle to explore my aesthetic, but also to craft good story. The things that I care about most in drawing is the aesthetic of like the specific aesthetic that I'm trying to reach and crafting a solid story with characters that feel like they're alive. Like characters in stories can feel more alive than people in real life because you have that specific extra dimension where you can get inside their head. Like you can know their thoughts. So sometimes characters feel more real on the page than the people that you see in your real life because you just don't know what they're thinking. And you kind of have to figure out their intentions based on what happens after the fact. So I'm trying to, that's part of my craft, is like trying to develop a level of skill that that matches the what the Japanese are doing, but just doing that on my own over here in America. So that's kind of what I'm going for. Let me make sure I'm checking the comments. Nick Stream, as bad as Marvel and DC pays their artists, gotta admit they make bank at cons. Oh yeah, they do, because you can just make covers and get paid. You know what I mean? G4, would you do a podcast with Young Wavy? He seems passionate about his craft since his return, but also I don't understand why he keeps wanting to go to Japan despite it failing his first attempt. I mean, if you at first you don't succeed, keep trying. But we did do a podcast back. It must have been last year or the year before, but we have done a podcast before. But yeah, like he is skilled enough to make it in Japan. but he might need a writer. He might need somebody to write for him, or just get better at writing itself. Um, but he might be able to make it. It's just that his team, like the rest of his publishing company, might not be able to make it over there because they don't have they might not have the same level of art skill as he does. And if their writing is not there, then it's going to be a hard sell to the Japanese. And it's kind of hard to figure out, like, or pinpoint what the Japanese are looking for. And if it's not your drawing style, or if it's not your what you're currently producing, it might be a hard sell for, you know, getting your stuff recognized over there. But he has a style that really works for the Japanese palette, for the Japanese, like, sensibilities. So yeah, I don't think he'll have much problems succeeding over there. But the thing is, to succeed over in Japan is like succeeding over here. Like, in Japan, you're gonna have to be making multiple one shots before you ever make a hit series. You'll have to be making multiple one shots, and if you don't have a situation where you can just, you know, live with your parents or have money, you're gonna be working different jobs just to stay afloat and making one shots that you don't get paid for. You're gonna be making one shots you don't get paid for. They're gonna read through the one shot, they'll be like, this is trash, and you're just back to the drawing board. Like 6 months of you working on one shot, and you're back to the drawing board. It would help if you work with an editor. No, not an editor, and an assistant, as an assistant for a manga artist, and they'll show you the ropes so that your one shot won't be so terrible. But even then, even when you get in a dedicated editor for you, like, you'll still have to be submitting one shots, trying to win contests. He's already done the hard part of winning an actual contest. So even after that, you'll still have to be submitting one shots, one after the other, until something is good enough to maybe see serialization. And that is a process that could take years and decades if you don't already have something that's going. I have something going here with Saintly, so I can't just like drop my publisher currently and then just run over to Japan and be like, hey, let me go try to get published in Kodansha or something. But no, like, it's just different. Sideburn says, I'm on the spectrum, maybe there's hope for me. Yeah, man, like, it's just sometimes I think, you know, I could be on there, but I'm not gonna try to confirm that, you know what I mean? Like, it's just weird. Young Wavy has a Japanese editor and a team trying to get him prepared for his debut in a Kodansha serial. That's why he's set on Japan, from my understanding, at G4. Okay, yeah. So if he's got like an inroads, that's really all you need. And he has a true shot if he locks in. Let's see. Based off people he knew. Joseph Lopez says he did it based off people he knew, probably in reference to Scott Pilgrim. Code Ninja, what I think helped with Scott Pilgrim is that it's a comic you can tell normal people about and they instantly get it. Scott Pilgrim fans aren't necessarily comic readers. More artists need to go for that. Yeah, I think I found out about Scott Pilgrim being a comic from the movie. Like, I saw the trailer for the movie of Scott Pilgrim, and I was just like, oh, this looks awesome, I want to see this. And then later I found out it was a comic. I was just like, whoa, it's based on a comic, and the comic is funny and good. So yeah, that was how I found out about that. Yeah, I think making a story that appeals. Oh, this is Black Merlin. Yeah, I think making a story that appeals to that fast elevator pitch is the way to go if you're selling for the mass market. Yeah, 100%. By mass market, I mean what you could see in a supermarket shelf. Call it the Archie approach. Yeah. Scott Pilgrim equals Archie for Gen Y. That makes sense. That was kind of the vibe. Slice of life is what Japanese call it. I call it the archetype. Archetype. Oh, that's funny. That's a good name. Um, yeah. Scott Pilgrim was kind of slice of life, but it still had those like fantastical elements that gave you this larger than life feel. Naruro says, "I'm sorry, I'm late. Don't be. It doesn't matter. You could just come and chill out whenever you want." But yeah, go back through the podcast because it's been a good one so far. G4, did you figure out if you will start using CG for your backgrounds to save time and focus on what actually impact the story the most? If I had access to because I do have Blender, but I don't know how to use it yet. I'm still looking through Blender tutorials, but the best way I can use CG is through some of the 3D like assets that are available on Clip Studio. And even then, I do most of the work on paper first. So that's the only real reason why it's kind of hard for me to make use of CG. But I'll use like Sketchfab. So there's a 3D program called Sketchfab, and if I need a car in a scene, I'll use Sketchfab to position the car in the right position that's necessary for the scene, and then I will do it that way. But other than that, like using CG for backgrounds and stuff like that, I have to figure out how to do it artfully, where it looks good because it's not obvious that it's 3D. You know what I mean? Like it looks like a real building that was drawn or really drawn. A lot of people just slap it on there and then, just so you can read the next scene. You know what I mean? Like a lot of webtoons, people will just like, hey, you're not gonna read it. You're not reading for the background, so they'll just slap 3D models everywhere and call it a day. You know what I mean? But I don't like doing that. So I take the what's it called? The approach that Dreamkeepers does. I like that they draw their backgrounds, and so I want to keep drawing my backgrounds for as long as I can, and that's only possible if I get like a team together. So one day I'm gonna get like a whole team together. I'm gonna develop like a studio. It doesn't have to be like a in-person studio, but that would be really cool. I think having an in-person studio where we're all just making like basically working as if it's a actual manga. But the way things work these days, it most likely will be digital, where I have people like, working on it digitally, taking certain tasks off my hands. Like I would have somebody do the flatting, like this process that I'm doing right now, somebody else would be doing that. And I would also have somebody else do the lettering, and then I would do the final edits on the lettering. But for the most part, I like doing most of this myself. I just have to figure out which parts I'm willing to relinquish so that I can save time and move the project forward. And I'm just too broke to like, hire out, you know what I mean? Like I just have to kind of deal with it until, let me see. Just deal with it until doomsday, I guess. So yeah, that's just the way it's got to be right now. Just for the moment. One day we'll be creating stuff. I think a video I'm going to make soon is like, can we get from this sort of ground level where we're started from the bottom, can we get from this ground level to blowing up to like invincible levels, or like at least like movie levels or like Scott Pilgrim levels? Is it possible to get from where we are at now to reaching those like sort of worldwide known? Like I don't care about being for the mass audience or for mainstream media, but I'm wondering if by doing what I'm doing already, can we reach that point? Because Vivzy Pop is like super popular, and she has a very specific style that she has diehard fans for, and it's just like, okay, she did that with a very unique, specific style, and a lot of people have like problems with her writings, but her fans will, you know, excuse it and whatnot. And I'm like, well, could I do that with my own work? Like, could I do that with my own style? Is there a way to get from the bottom where I'm at to the top, like where like a simple webcomic has a video game, or like has spin-off comics, or like has like a TV show, or like a movie or something like that. Not that it's necessary to do that. The main thing I'm focused on is reaching my aesthetic and telling really, really good stories. But I always wonder, like, is it possible to reach that worldwide recognition in the same vein as anime, but doing it with webcomics, or doing it starting it from like the ground up? Because if I'm not going the anime route, I could still reach, it's still possible to reach that I guess echelon, just by being consistent with a strong enough piece of work, and, you know, putting the work out there, like how they did with Invincible or Scott Pilgrim and that kind of stuff. So it's possible, but I'm just like, okay, well, how? Let me figure that part out. Okay, so the two characters are finally done because I got some time to work on it. And now let me see. Let's see. People dog on the Scott Pilgrim movie. He said, but it's a gem. Yeah, I don't know anybody who dogs on the Scott Pilgrim movie. That shit was awesome. Did you figure out? Okay. Let's see. Cyberts. Yeah, Scott movie was great, and the game too. Oh yeah, the new one is the new game. I haven't played the new game, but I played the old game. That was fun. You just play it with like your siblings or your friends, and it would be a good time. Black Merlin says, speaking of assets, my man out here knows what sells. I think the algo grabbed this redhead's assets on the thumbnail. That got me in here. Wowzers. That's awesome. McLeod was better Blender or SketchUp for comic back. Or what's better, Blender or SketchUp for comic backgrounds? The one that you know best. It's like, I personally learned SketchUp in school, so I don't know Blender as well, but Blender could have more use overall over time if I learn how to actually use that. So I would go Blender, but SketchUp has a lot of already built models that you can just you know, download and use. And maybe Blender has the same thing as well, but I just don't know actually. G4 says, will you start making more content in your YouTube community tab or your website blog? Also, when are you creating a TikTok? I already have a TikTok. It's been a while since I've actually used it. I don't know if I don't know. Like at a certain point, I think I'll start doing like shorts or something like that to drum up more attention for the release of the webcomic. But until then, I'm just focused on making the videos, and that already, you know, takes a lot of time and effort. But let me get these here and do that strat again. Let me, whoops. Yeah, the videos already take a lot of time and effort, but Hit raster, new layer, correction layer, merge selective. But what is it? Said, will you start making more content in your community tab? I do make some content for the community tab. What I'm trying to do, I haven't figured out yet, is open it up for other people to post in there. But I'm not sure, like maybe it's a setting I need to toggle, or maybe YouTube gives me that option later on, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. It's there's a couple of things in that. So I can't just do that. I'm gonna have to copy the frame. Okay, I figured out what to do. But yeah, that's that situation. Let me, so it's this layer. I just need to copy that. Put that out here. And then merge. No, wait. Now merge. There we go. Sweet. So I didn't have to do that whole thing again. And then I'm gonna lock that. Go back to the flats. And then we're gonna change the color of the background a little bit. Actually, I don't know how to do that. I'm gonna color this thing here. Let me check the comments. So Massive Panda says, yeah, that's one of the reasons why I quit reading webtoons pretty early on in the series. Those backgrounds don't mesh with the characters and it's torture on my poor eyes. Yeah, it could be like that, man. It just doesn't fit so much. Black Swan says, what's your motivation to keep making YouTube videos? Is it challenging or easy for you to keep making content? Sometimes it's challenging, especially on the day when I do the batch content. My motivation for continuing to make YouTube videos is I'm broke. So that it just and not only that, but I feel like speaking on certain subjects helps me like organize my thoughts, and also shows people that I'm not just like joking around about making comics. And at the same time, it's like I've been on here for so many years that it shows like a logical, or it shows a progression of where I started to where I'm going now. So continuing to make YouTube videos helps with that. And then at the same time, it's like I see it as like the #1 opportunity for a comic creator to really create their own path, like create their own destiny online. It's like you have all the tools in the toolbox to create your own platform. And so using YouTube to get that get the word out there about your own stuff, you don't have to wait on these companies to promote you. You can just do it yourself if you find your voice and keep producing and put stuff out there. And me putting out more stuff more often than other creators just gets me on the algorithm more, gets me out there more, and so people see what I'm doing more often. And that's why I just post as much as I do. And what was there? Is there another reason? Let me hit this. But yeah, because the mainstream, or the like the comics industry isn't working properly. So while it's still fumbling around, messing around, like you get published, but they don't promote you. While it's still messing around, you have the ability to like do everything yourself. And this is what I was gonna say. Like if all the creators from the past knew that we had the technology and the ability to basically be our own radio station, and we didn't have to like get chosen by the gods of radio or TV or whatever to get promotion for our stuff, and if they realized that they could do it themselves, they would 100% take that opportunity and just go all out with it. Like imagine Jack Kirby with his own YouTube channel, just talking about like how he makes his comics and stuff. I would watch that every day. And the fact that and he worked so hard that he would probably see that as like, oh, you know what, this is an opportunity to put my name out there as much as I possibly can. So that's why I continue like going this hard, because it's like, oh, well, my past predecessors, they would probably do the same thing if given the opportunity. But yeah, I hope that answers your question, Mr. Black Swan. What's up, man? Vincev 46. That's what I'm doing. I just gotta Thanos it until people want to volunteer. What? Sideburn says Glitch is a popular animation studio. Yep. Even what's his name? Thomas Romaine said he's about to start working there. Which is crazy. Like Thomas Romaine, the guy who, or maybe it's Thomas Roman or something like that. He's French. So he's about to start working for Glitch. And that's crazy because he did Oban Star Racers back in the day. He's been on some legit like high tier what's it called? Projects. So it's like, dang, okay. They got some real like legitimate talent. I mean, they already had legitimate talent before, but damn, they're getting him too. Let's see. LeMay says, I first heard of her from webcomic Zoophobia. She dropped it when she heard Zootopia coming out of fear that her work would get eclipsed by Disney. I guess she made the right move. Dang, that sucks. In reference to Vibsy Pop with her webcomic, because it's Michael Cera. I remember one of those Scott Pilgrim games having a pretty awesome original soundtrack. Yeah, the first game had a really dope soundtrack. I love the music from it. G4 says, bro, you've been hitting 22 to almost 30 viewers on your live. The growth is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. I didn't even notice it almost hit 30, but that's really nice. Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming on, man. Like it's really great to talk to you, especially every week. Thoughts on Savage Dragon? Eric Larson basically got almost full-blown asset scenes in the comic now. By thoughts, I mean, do you think content like that will become mainstream one day in US comics? The reason it can't be mainstream is because sexual stuff like that is very niche specific, where people come to sexuality based comics based on what their specific likes are. Like the thing that you're into is if it's not what the comic is about, then you're just gonna be like, I can take it or leave it. But if there's a really bad artist who just sucks at drawing, but they're doing the thing that you're specifically into, you'll be like, I guess I gotta take it, you know what I mean? Because it's gonna be so focused on the thing that you are about that you'll gravitate towards that, and it becomes a niche because it's so specified to what you actually like. And then Eric Larson going in that direction for his comics, my thoughts on that is just like, hey, you can do it, man. Like he was one of the founding guys of Image Comics, so I find it funny that he's going in that direction. And I think he's also don't quote me on this, but I think he might also be on the spectrum as well. But I mean, he's still making the comic even after 300 chapters, and if he wants to make it like sexual like that, then by all means. For me personally, I'm still trying to figure out where my line is. Like this is all right. Like I think it's nice, but do I like, how much further could I push it? Should I push it? Or am I willing to push it? You know what I mean? Like you have to figure out that line, because once you push it too far, like people start coming to the comic for a specific thing, And if you don't want to be known for a specific thing, or if you don't want to cater to that specific thing, then you have to decide whether you want to put it in that comic that you're working on, or make a completely different project and put that in that project. If I were to go down that route, what I would do is make a completely different story and then put that stuff in that story rather than in the main thing that I'm doing. And it's completely fine to do all that stuff, because even the greats have done erotica and that kind of stuff. And like Mobius, everybody's art god. Mobius has done erotica. There's Milo Manera, there's Paolo Salutieri, who does like the Druna comics. Like they all do erotica at some point, especially in Europe. So yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. Like and there a lot of Japanese comics are gooner bait, dude. Like a lot of Japanese comics are gooner bait. I have what's it called? Where's that freaking nope. Okay, there it is. Yeah, I have what's it called? Dandadan. You know what I mean? Like Dandadan has really solid art. I hope I didn't. Okay, yeah, it has really solid art, but it is like got a lot of that sexual stuff in it. Same with Gantz, but a lot of Japanese comics start off really. What the hell? Yeah, trust. Start off. What the hell? Okay. Yeah, a lot of Japanese comics start off in that sort of like more gooner territory. Like they start off with more sexual themes and whatnot, because I don't know, the artist is younger, or maybe they're just they have less contact with other women and whatnot. So a lot of comics start off like that and then level out over time. Like Dragon Ball Z had a lot of that kind of stuff in it in the beginning, leveled out over time. What else? Gantz had that a lot in the beginning, leveled out over time, but then he did that one what is it called? Gigantic story. But yeah, like manga is filled with a lot of quote unquote wrong things that that people secretly enjoy because they're fulfilling a specific need that that isn't necessarily mainstream. When you have something like Chainsaw Man, it has enough balance of mainstream appeal to balance out all the weird like fetish stuff that that Tatsuki Fujimoto is actually into. He loves like strong dominant women. He loves like lesbians. He loves like foursomes and all that stuff. He put all that in his comic, and that's what they encourage you to do in Japan. It's like not just make a good comic, but to put some of your own personal like fetishes in the story, the things that you like specifically, that you like sexually and whatnot. And it's not the approach every single manga artist takes, but it is something they encourage, because if there's anything that will make you want to draw the comic more, they want you to do that. Like anything that will compel you to see this vision through, they want you to do it. So whatever gets you going, they'll encourage that for the story. Let me see. Cyburn says you could create a poll for favorite saintly character. Bro, it hasn't even like I could do that later on, but it's not even there's not even enough characters yet. So it just started, you know what I mean? You do that after like maybe the first arc. When the first arc is done, then you can do that. I'm kind of neutral to it myself. It has its place in the market. Was just shocked to open my monthly Savage Dragon and got an eye full of dragon action. Jesus. Yeah, it's just crazy, man. I had no idea Eric Larson was doing that. Yeah, Kova's Lookout made a whole video on that. It was funny. Interesting. I only read the first 40 issues or so. Now I kind of want to see what you're talking about out of curiosity. Yeah, man, do your research, dude. Go check it out. Um, hmm. How far back am I? Let's see. Okay. Don't complain about the culture. Become the culture. Yeah. Said as Razor once said. Who's Razor again? Thanos said, I'll do it myself. Yeah. Master Panda, they're fighting Ice now and Savage Dragon. Oh. Has YouTube helped with the sale of your works? Have I made a sale off of YouTube? Yes, but that was when I was running Kickstarters for Air Rider. So I would put out the trailer on YouTube, and then I would do like a couple live streams, one on the day of launch and one after. But outside of the Kickstarters, it hasn't really helped with sales of any comics. The one time I got like a massive sale on like just the entire backstock of Air Rider was on Instagram. Like somebody DM'd me on Instagram, and they were like, "Hey, let me buy everything you got," and I was just like, "Oh, damn, okay." So yeah, I made a sale through Instagram, but YouTube hasn't helped with that many sales in general. Hot Trash XH. Ever dabbled in animation or animated comics? Yeah, I have. We did animation in school, and so I do have an animation or I have a few animations here and there that that I either did for practice or just stuff like that, like where I was trying things out, practicing like timing. The best one that I did was for school. It was a school project. So like I can do like basic stuff like that. And when you have like basic drawing skills, you can figure out animation pretty easily from there. I'm trying to figure out where the main one that I did. It was like a funny like what was it called? It was like a funny. Oh yeah, this is the one. Like a Caleb City. Like I used a Caleb City audio and then just had him like emote and did an animation like that. So yeah, that's like the extent of my like animation ability. So it doesn't go much more beyond that. But I do want to get back into it a little bit here and there, so that I can do little animations for Saintly. Like that would be so cool. Like just imagine like making something like this, but just animating little parts of it, like maybe just the water that's coming out of this this thing, this water slide. Animating little bits here and there to make it look interesting, more interesting, and then settle it into people's minds as more of an IP. Like if you can animate, people will feel like, oh, this is a real thing. Like this is like, this could be something. Like it helps you come up with a proof of concept. Sideburns, does Rob Liefeld still own Image? I don't know. I don't really know actually. Black Merlin says, solid thoughts, brother. The specification rabbit hole. Oh yeah. Bruce Tim has some really sexy art. Oh yeah. Top tier, top notch. He's actually one of my biggest influences in terms of art. I don't really talk about him too much, but yeah, like he's one of my biggest influences. He's so good. Like you wouldn't think 100%. Well, actually, like when you're a kid, you look at the DC Justice League and Batman cartoon, and you're just like, yes, and you're just like, there's something about the way he draws girls, and then you see his actual art on his own, and you're like, there it is, and it's top tier stuff. Let me see, let me get the name right. Oh, they're so far down below. Let me hit the new comments button. Let me see. Oh, Sentinel K&K. I think it's been a while. Um, exclusive spicy saintly panels only on Patreon jokes. You gotta point though, some webcomics feel like they can lean hard on it unnecessarily when they're already solid plot wise. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like adding fan service in a manga story. Like manga creators do that when the story on its own isn't interesting enough. So they add those fan service elements. I will add like fan service elements in Saintly, but it's not obvious and it's not going to be in your face and it's not going to stop the whole story to focus on somebody's ass or whatever. It's going to be like just sort of subtle in the background, not really beating you over the head with it, because I've always hated that in stories. But when it's subtle, I can appreciate it much more. Like Eiichiro Oda with One Piece, he'll do it subtly where the girls will be like extremely hot, but they won't be he won't stop the whole story just to focus on ass. Whereas Hiro Mashima, he'll fucking go for it, man. He'll be like, you know what, hold up, I need everybody to appreciate this girl's body right now, and he'll stop the whole ass story just to be like, yeah, look at how I drew her, like look at you know her look at her camel toe lines, like how I drew that and how I drew this. Like he'll go all in on that stuff, man. Sentinel says, oh yeah, early Dragon Ball especially is so guilty of this. Yeah, people forget about that stuff. They're just like, oh, Dragon Ball is so great, recommend it to your kids. Actually don't, because Bulma was like nude a lot in the, well, not a lot, but she was nude sometimes in the earlier chapters. G4 says, I feel like the best artists are the one that make the sexual bring something to the story or make the world more mature, not the one who makes soulless, not safe for work for gooners pennies. Yeah, exactly. Yep. Sideburn, same with Punch Forever on YouTube. Yeah, he apparently he was doing spicy stuff before Punch Forever, but I only know him as Speedoru on YouTube from like this Yugi No short that came out a long time ago, and then just a couple other shorts, and then you know, Punch Forever, but I didn't know about his spicy past. And at the same time, it's like when I was a kid, I was just afraid of spicy stuff in general. I would be like, oh, they're nude and I'm going to church on Sunday, you know what I mean? So I'd be afraid of that kind of stuff until I had to do it to learn how to draw, you know, anatomy and people and stuff. Elmay says, yeah, I noticed the femdom in Chainsaw Man. Oh yeah, 100%. Cyburn says, I'm drawing while watching this. Oh, okay, cool. Razor Fist, quote spotted. He was right. Become the culture. Razor Fist. I know that name, but I think I know him by his channel name instead. But I think I know what you're talking about. OMG, use Rough Animator more than me. Rough Animator is so intuitive and easy to just open up and start animating. Like, I have no idea how to use Clip Studio Paint. I have no idea how to use Procreate Dreams. I have to look up tutorials, whereas I just open up Rough Animator. I'm just like, boom, boom, boom. I can start sketching out something immediately. Or I can scan in an image and just, you know, start working off of that image. So yeah, I think it's really helpful. Elmay says, did you do the flour sack test? Yeah, we did the flour sack test, but it's not in my Rough Animator because we did it on paper. So at the Kubert School, they teach basic animation in first year, and they teach it on paper. So the flour sack test is on paper. We did all that. Flour sack, we did like a ball, bouncing ball, all that stuff. We figured out how to do it on paper. Yosef Lopez says, completed a new GIF yesterday. Nice. That's awesome. Massive says, Bruce Tim the GOAT. Yep. Hot Trash Excess, you got some sick stuff. Hap YouTube recommend you. A small time comic maker, but Being a trucker takes most of my time, but I can't wait to see you grow. Best of luck. Hey, appreciate it, man. Um, and yeah, man, like trucking is from what I've heard is like good money. So best of luck to you, man. Like yeah, like just doing comics for fun is really cool as well. Black Swan says, do you plan on doing any content with other YouTubers in the near future? Do you feel there is a benefit? Any other YouTubers? At the moment, I don't have any plans to do content with other YouTubers. Do I feel like there's a benefit to it? Yeah, if there's like a good you know, communication between the two YouTubers, or like if there's a good, you know, relationship between the two, and if one has more followers that can bring more attention to the other, you know what I mean? So I do occasionally stream with this guy named Narwhal, and he has a group called Creative Block, and they run shows on Thursday, so they should be going right now. But yeah, I'll occasionally jump on with him and talk story and all that kind of stuff. Let's see. Vince actually I can just click it here. Vince V 4630. What is the future of comics / manga? Any ideas? I think I can't really like see it, but there's this push to make things more global, you know, like there's like manga is kind of in a situation right now where the Japanese population is sort of, it's sort of hard to find talent inside of Japan because the population is dwindling. So they're seeking work from outside of the country, and so we're going to see a lot more of a globalized aesthetic coming towards the anime and space, like the anime space, because the source material is going to be coming from a lot of manga that are coming from America, like people from the States, coming from you know, just transplants, people that aren't in Japan alone. And then for comics, it's like there's going to be a lot more separate projects, people that are making it big on YouTube or making it big on social media in some way, and self-publishing, but also by factor of having proven themselves on YouTube, getting into normal publishing as well. So like there's webcomics that I've seen that like Kill 6 Billion Demons that get picked up by Image Comics and will be turned into stuff just based on having a good, like having solid work on their own, and then being noticed and picked up for publication through the more normal channels. So that's kind of what I see, but I can't really like see 100% or see too far into it. Let's see. Main concept. I've stopped watching anime a few stopped watching a few anime because of weird adult references. It's in so many things. Stop watch to your eternity and may add Mushoku Tensei to the list. To your eternity? Really? To your eternity is made by Yoshitoki Oima, one of my favorite manga artists, but mainly because of A Silent Voice, which I loved. That was her like first breakout manga after she did she illustrated a story called Marduk Scramble. And To Your Eternity, I got into it. I was just excited, like, oh, she's gonna be writing and drawing a new thing, but I didn't like it as much as A Silent Voice, just because it didn't seem like it was in her wheelhouse as much as Silent Voice was. You know what I mean? It was more of an adventure story where she was good at doing more slice of life, down to earth human drama. So this was something new. I just wasn't as into it, but it's still a really good, solid story. And I just didn't know that it had more adults stuff going later on. Mushoku Tensei has been like that from the beginning, though. Like it will really push your boundaries, like of what you think is acceptable, and it's just like the thing about it is like the story is so solid that it's just like I'll overlook it this time, but god damn, you're on thin ice, mister. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that with Mushoku Tensei. Black Merlin says, oh, I know Norwell, he used to make comics for Richard Meyer. Yep, I know who you're talking about, and I was there for that whole entire thing, man. Like I watched the whole Comicsgate like build up from the ground up and into the groundswell that it became. And Narwhal did what was it called, Earthbound. He did another one called like 499 for Richard Meyer. So yeah, it was a lot of stuff back then. Globalized manga industry sounds like a dream come true. Oh yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. Black Swan says who are a few of your go-to channel for commentary on comics besides your own? For commentary on comics, go-to channels. Do I even listen to anybody? The only times I'll listen to people is I'll watch Coffee's videos just because they're funny and like, you know, I like his rants. I'll watch what's it called? I'll still watch Young Wavy's videos too, and just to see what he's up to, what progress he's making. And I'll see basically anybody who is creating in a specific vibe. So like there's this creator called Cosmic something Illustrations, and they made a comic called Gloaming Veil, and they ran a Kickstarter for it. And I'm just like, okay, I'm trying to break that. Whenever I look at a comic creator on YouTube, I'm trying to figure out and break down their, like, how do they get as many followers as they have? And what are they doing? What kinds of things are they doing to brand themselves and put their videos out there? So I'll watch like Starfish Face, who's doing literally exactly what I would be doing in her position. Like she's making her own webcomic, doing YouTube videos, and she's been able to buy a house twice, like just by, you know, selling her merch and making her comic and all that. But she's been doing it for over 8 years now, so it's a process that takes time. Sideburn says FMA might be a good manga for a main concept aside from exploring politics at times. Yeah. I mean, FMA is top tier for anybody. It's one of those gateway anime. Job is peak. Oh, Jobless is peak. Master of, let me see. Master of all useless things. That's funny. Says Jobless. Oh, he's talking about Mushoku Tensei. Yep. CG was wild. Oh yeah, Comicsgate. Yeah, Comicsgate was definitely wild. Main concept. Sideburn. Not safe for work. Will eventually draw that myself, but if it includes underage, then no. Yeah, fuck that. G4 Coffee is funny, but he just screamed too much. There is no substance anymore, but he just had a fallout with Young Wavy. Did you see it? Yeah, I was there for that whole thing. I was just like, that is not good. Sideburns as well. Okay, so it's 11 p.m. Damn. Okay, let me I caught up to the comments finally, so I'm gonna hop off in like maybe, man, there's 20 people here. That's really nice. But yeah, I'm gonna hop off in 5 minutes. So if y'all have any like last minute questions or anything, I'm just gonna answer those and then dip and then probably go eat or something. But yeah, thank you for being here with me. Like this was really fun. Like I had a great conversation with y'all, and we made some good progress on the illustration. So it's kind of in a good spot now. I'm kind of at a point where I can start putting in shadows. There's gonna be a creature or something back here, right in this little area here, and it's gonna be just kind of waiting in the wings. We're gonna make this kind of back area just really black and sort of foreboding. So they're gonna be up here in the front, and I'm gonna put some shadows or something on there. Maybe we'll let's see. Actually, would it be shadows? Yeah, I guess it would kind of be shadows. And then I'm gonna have to put the water layer back in too. So like there's a pool layer. I'm gonna copy that and bring it out here. There we go. And I'm gonna just use that as a rough outline for where I want stuff. And then I have a Clip Studio action for my color layers. So if I hit that action and hit the play button, then boom, it'll put in all my layers that I use to color over my flats. So it'll have the shadows layer ready on deck, and I usually set the shadow layer to something lower. I'll put it on multiply, and then just start shadowing stuff. All right. Damn, y'all are coming in with the questions. Let me just see what the last things are. Bro had 20 comments delay. Oh yeah. Master of all useless things is good luck gamer. What Starfish channel? It's called, her name is Starfish Face on YouTube, and she makes a webcomic called Cast Off. And you can't miss her. She's like a cartoon. I've met her in person like a few times in real life. So yeah, she knows a lot about like making comics and making money in comics, and she has videos on it. And I have a book by her on the exact subject that I bought from her at a convention as well. And yeah, she's really about, like, she really is knowledgeable about making money as a comic creator. Let's see. McLeod, can you post any YouTube comic creator names to follow? Yeah, it's Starfish Face, DD Mark I would recommend, because he I mean, it's been a while since he's posted, but yeah, I would recommend DD Mark. I would recommend Third PHP, who's also like buddies with him, and he'll make a lot of anatomy videos. I'll recommend, there's a whole bunch of like manga creators that I really like, even if I told you like there's no way to spell it on there. So yeah, a lot of manga creators that are on YouTube that live stream as well. Like the creator of Sugu Momo, he it's like TSUGUMOMO, and he makes he does live streams, and he uses like ancient technology to draw his comics digitally. Like he uses Photoshop CS. It's not even CS. He uses Photoshop 2005 or something like that to draw his comics. He's very old school, but it's really kind of cool to see. Sentinel says, when you personally write stories, do you just have an outline of the ending, or do you have it being clear cut and hardly changed before you officially release a first issue? I have the outline. Like for Saintly, I developed the outline from beginning to end of this 15 chapter segment. So I know what's going to happen from beginning to end, and we set up the event so that everything leads to the next and doesn't contradict each other. So that by the end is set in, like, I know what's going to happen at the end for the most part, but literally everything is not set in stone until I draw it on the page. Like when I draw it is when it's set in stone, and that's the final say on what's going to happen in the chapter. So by the chapter by chapter, I'm figuring out exactly what happens as I write it. But in general, I know what's supposed to happen at certain points because I outlined the whole story like months in advance. So yeah, that's how I approach writing. G4 says, would you start a series of Let's see. Would you start a series of videos showing artists that inspire you in terms of art style and analyze them like you did with the Dragon Ball Peanuts comparison? Man, I gotta make a video like that because or another video like that because that was like just something I noticed, but would I start a series of videos? The reason I can make videos so quickly is because I do things based on what I want to talk about or what I'm in the flow of talking about already. So to do another video like that, I mean, that would get views, but I'm not specifically trying to get views. I'm just talking about things that I think are important to me, some things that I noticed that nobody talks about. And to talk about my influences, I always talk about my influences, but it's not always like specific, you know what I mean? Like detailed breakdowns, because to do a detailed breakdown of an artist that I really like, I would have to put in so much extra effort on making the videos, and they're almost near daily anyway. Like I do about 4 videos per week, and then the 5th video would be this like live stream every week. And so to do a more detailed breakdown of something, it would take too much time to pull that off daily. Like I would be like taking time away from drawing, too much time from drawing. Let's see. Is this a subliminal space like the pool rooms? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you noticed. Okay, cool. Yeah. I mean, it's not subliminal, but it's liminal space. but yeah, it's the pool room. So yeah, that's you have a good eye, man. But yeah, that's the space. Black Swan says, and that might be the last question. Okay, cool. Are you planning to attend any conventions in the near future? I only have one convention in Texas planned, and then that's it. It's called Casa. So it's what is it called? Comics Arts San Antonio, and that would be the only other convention I'm attending this year. I had one earlier, and I posted on my email list about that. And interestingly enough, I found out that a lot of women like Saintly, so that's what that email was about. But yeah, that's gonna be the other convention I'm attending, and I'll be like printing out more of these like little mini Saintly zines for that convention, so that people can grab them up and grab the first chapter before I release it in October. So yeah, that convention is probably in November though. So yeah, they would be able to grab it after the fact. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Cyburn says I would like to put out less edited videos on my channel. Yeah, man, that's actually the strat these days, like just posting videos off the cuff and being able to speak off the cuff, and you know, just putting more of yourself into it. Sentinel says see you next stream. These are super chill. Appreciate it, man. Vince says sublime. Cyburn says have a great night, day. It's gonna be night for sure. But yeah, I appreciate y'all for coming out today. Let's take one last look at the whoops. Oh, okay, y'all can still see me. Let me enter the studio. We'll take one last look at the art. Let me enter studio, and then that'll be it. We'll finish it out. Share screen. Entire screen. There we go. All right. Let's see. Nice. And we'll close out the stream on that. I appreciate y'all for coming. Thanks for the great conversation. This was really fun, actually. And I will see you. There we go. Awesome. I will see you next week. Peace out, y'all.